All right. Happy Memorial Day to all those of you that celebrate. Landry Locker, Cody Stutes with you here on a Memorial Day, talking about the Texans, CJ Stroud, and Texans that are bouncing back, and a lot more. You can see Cody's in the spirits. He's feeling it. He's got the patriotism going on.
I am.
He's got a special legend with him too, Refrigerator Perry, over his shoulder right there, over his right shoulder right there. So we have a fridge background. So how about that? Landry Locker, Cody Stutes, and Refrigerator Perry right there in the right. So we're good to go.
And Dorothy from the Golden Girls on the fridge.
I see it.
Shout out B. Arthur.
So
no longer with us.
We were talking bounce back candidates for the Texans. And the obvious candidate without even bearing the lead is CJ Stroud. When you talk comeback player of the year, when you talk the most important, and you talk about the guy that really, quite frankly, you need the most if you're going to reach the goals, CJ Stroud, he is the number one bounce back candidate for the Texans. And quite frankly, I think it's kind of Dameon Pierce-ish, where in year two, Dameon Pierce was talking about how this is going to be the most valuable year of my career, and I'm going to look back on this and I'm going to say that this is what made me a better football player. And here we are heading into year four, and that hasn't necessarily happened. But I do think there's a possibility that could be the case with CJ Stroud in his year two. It didn't play out with Dameon Pierce, but I think there's a possibility that everything that CJ Stroud went through last year, everything that happened, there could be a possibility for him.
I think he's going to be the bounce back pick for people who just watch the NFL across the league. Like, there's going to be a lot of people that just see what happened in 2024. They're going to kind of like the Texans did. They're going to blame it on stuff that's not CJ Stroud's fault. And they're going to say, okay, well, the offensive line should be a little bit better. It can't get any worse. And they got a new offensive coordinator that most people are going to look at the lineage and give the thumbs up to as they pass by when they look at the Texans. And I feel like Stroud's going to be a really popular bounce back candidate for everybody that talks about the NFL. And why wouldn't he be? I mean, you saw what he did his rookie year and how efficient it looked sometimes. And then it was just totally inefficient last year. So many different times, a lot of times things out of his control, but even sometimes things in his control didn't look good. And I have to imagine that some of those things with the new offense, hopefully a better offensive line, allow him to get a little bit more efficient and he can showcase a little bit more of what he did in 2023 versus having to just kind of be Houdini a couple of different times like he had to in 2024. I think back to the Colts game as one of those games where he at home at NRG, where he just kind of, he dealt with 60% pressure rate that game and still was able to kind of use his skills, gut it out, did enough, and they were able to sneak out and win that football game. Hopefully it's a whole lot less of that, a whole lot more of some of those easier offensive performances that we saw in 2023.
Quite frankly, I don't even know who else is on the list. And that's the thing for me. Like, I would say CJ is the face of down year for last year. And I don't say that based on picking on the quarterback. I know it's a sensitive subject. It's repetitive, but I say it based on the expectations that he set out and based on what we saw before last year. So, like, if we're even having this discussion, and I'm not questioning the discussion, like, I don't even know who's even in the same category when it comes to importance and when it comes to actual performance than CJ Stroud. I mean, maybe you could say Dalton Schultz because Dalton Schultz sucked last year, but CJ didn't suck. Like, CJ just didn't reach the expectations that we had heading into the season and everything. But Dalton Schultz just flat out sucked. So maybe Dalton Schultz is a little bit more of that guy. Can't really point to anyone on the defensive side. Maybe you could say Christian Harris, but it's not like he actually went on the field and showed it. And I'll probably bring up Christian Harris a little bit later on this episode, but there's not really much competition even for CJ Stroud when it comes to this, because we could say like Juice Scruggs needs to be better or Titus Howard, but they never played at as high of a level, and you never really like looked at them the same way that you look at CJ Stroud. I think Juice Scruggs just needs to show that he's a competent NFL player more so than anything. And Titus Howard, I think he was kind of overvalued and overrated before last year, even though it was a down year. So I don't even know that anyone's even in the same category with CJ.
I mean, you can't really go through outside of offensive linemen and point to players that didn't live up to the billing and the expectation last year. I mean, there's not that many guys. I mean, Nico Collins, we wanted to see it again when he was healthy. We saw it again. The health's always been a conversation thing with Nico Collins. The depth at wide receiver, what did you really expect out of an Xavier Hutchinson, a John Mechie, so on? Schultz is a good one because he dipped from his previous year's production, but kind of where you expected CJ to be where he ended up, it didn't get like there was a big gap. So even if you're looking at where'd you expect the guy and where'd they end up, nobody comes really close. Like even if you picked one of these offensive linemen, like nobody expected Juice Scruggs to be awesome at center. You expected him, you were hoping last year he'd be serviceable. He'd be an average center, and he wasn't. So like the expectation, what happened, nobody has a gap, as big as what CJ dealt with. And that's probably a sign of a pretty decent football team if you don't have a bunch of those guys through up and down the roster. Obviously, you could just say the O-line as a whole, but if you were Landry Locker, you didn't expect them to be very good. Cody Stutes, you bought into the Ponzi scheme.
Well, I mean, the guys that you would say were disappointing, like Shaq Mason's gone. Like they got rid of him. So, I mean, maybe he would be in the category.
He can't bounce back.
Tunsil was fine. He did his own thing, and he did exactly what he sets out to do every year, individually be good, and then the rest of the guys, who cares? So there was that. Titus, I mean, there was okay. So that's my whole point, is that I think CJ's the only candidate, and he's the one that matters the most. Let's go to the soup real quick. HDAV Traveler,
good to see you.
The usual.
Swarm.
Shout out to Austin Jack, our guy, Jake Asman of the Jake Asman Show. He says, roll the Mixon. Captain America Stutes, F yeah. So there we go. Roll the Mixon.
Hey, roll that Joe Mixon.
Roll the Mixon.
We'll get to see if Joe Mixon's alive, walking, boot, no boot, there, not there this week, as the Texans have a couple of OTAs coming up.
Yeah, we got our media availability this week, and we actually just got it right before we went on the air. So Wednesday, we're going to have a practice. We'll hear from D'Amico and some players. We'll see which players those are. And then Friday, I'm actually going to be at a wedding in Oklahoma City, home of the Oklahoma City Thunder. Big game for them tonight. I'm looking forward to that. And then we'll hear from Nick Caley that day. So you'll hold it down here, and I'll react to it on the night stream. But we'll hear from Nick Caley. He's not going to have much to say on Friday, I would assume, but you never know.
I gotta know from Nick Caley what exactly he's given CJ Stroud control of here. So Stroud talked about he's going to have more control.
Yeah, Nick's going to be like, what? That's news to me. We haven't even established a dynamic. This is the first week we've been on the field together. What? He's going to have more control? That's news to me. I'm trying to figure stuff out.
I'll be pulling that CJ quote real fast.
Yeah, Friday's going to be a QB OC controversy. He's going to be like, what the hell are you talking about?
You know what? This organization, they've had some quiet years. Let's get back in the controversy game. All right. Controversy creates cash, is what Eric Bischoff used to always say.
Well, I got to tell you, I got some controversy, man. I saw you kind of touched on it. The reports, I happened to be out of town when it happened, but the Jonathan Alexander saying what he said about the Cacerio thing, where they wanted Ursery, they wanted to go up and get Ursery. And we talked about the video and New England catching potential Texans trade. I am very confused by this, and I just don't. I'll put it this way, and I'll talk more about this on the 10:30 stream, and then maybe we can gather together tomorrow since you've already done this. So that's one of my pet peeves with people who go on vacation is they act like the world didn't exist before them. Like, so they'll go back and they'll talk about games that are like a week old or something like that, but. This is like something that I think we need to attack, and I'm going to start attacking at 10:30, and then we can come together and talk about the Ursery thing. But here's my question when it comes to the state of the Houston Texans. And I think there needs to be expectations. If you don't want to hold them to expectations and you want to look back at 2020 and say everything's better now, so everything's cool, that's fine. That's just not what we do, and that's not what I do. Here's my question when it comes to Nick Cacerio. I accepted this on the largest platforms possible because I thought it made sense when Cacerio first got here, and I thought he did a good job in handling it. But the thing that he said that a lot of people didn't like, but I was fine with, was process over results. I got it. I understood it. You had to eliminate the dead cap. You had to stockpile assets. Sometimes you got to hit rock bottom before you can start working your way up. And I 100% understood the process over results mentality of Nick Cacerio early on. Does that still exist now, though? Like, if you try to do dumb shit and then something happens, but you tried to do dumb shit, does like process over results still exist? Because that's the question I have to ask about this Ursery thing. Like, where are we at? Is it just results? Am I just judging you on results? Or are we still keeping process over results? Because we always talk about this, and very rarely do we have, and I'm kind of doing the night show now, but that's just kind of the way it is. But like, very rarely do we have this alternate reality that you and I speak of, where we're like, well, he traded up for Juice Scruggs, and like nobody thought that you needed to trade up for Juice Scruggs there. We can never prove it. Like, we can never prove it. We just assume it, and then you trade it up for Juice Scruggs. But in this instance, if he actually tried to trade up for Ursery, and then he ended up getting Ursery 10 spots later than he tried to trade up, then the question is, like, does he have do I need to question that process because the results are better because now you got Noel and you got Woody Marks instead of just Ursery?
And you still got Ursery.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it would have been, I mean, I was against the trade, even if the trade was for Travion Henderson or whatever. Like, it's just too much to give up. And ultimately what they ended up getting was pretty good. And then you find out, oh, it could have actually been for Ursery. And it's like, well, that would have been a real bad trade then. Like, not only would it have been a bad trade for Travion Henderson or Alfred Collins, the defensive tackle from Texas, or TJ Sanders, the defensive tackle from South Carolina, it'd have been a real bad trade for Ursery because you ended up getting him. Because we're applying what actually happened. Like, and obviously he doesn't know that in the moment, but like, now knowing what the league thought of Ursery, he was too high on him.
And here's the other thing that I wonder, like, because we got that, it worked out fine. And I know sometimes luck is better than good. I get that. But here's the other thing that I wonder is he lying? And I don't want it, like, and this is, look, I'm not just going to sit here and pull stuff out of my ass. The good thing is we talk about this every day. And we do it no matter what, whether we have a fucking mom's refrigerator over our right shoulder or whatever. We talk about this every day. Here's the thing that I wonder is are they even telling the truth? Like, is Alexander being told the truth? Because Alexander's not going to make stuff up. He's not one of those people. He's not one of those reporters. But here's the thing. On one hand, you can say, well, that looks really cool because they really wanted Ursery and they ended up getting him anyways. Like, that's the bright side. You could say that. I'll ignore the fact that they haven't been good at evaluating offensive linemen, but that's the positive. And that's like, if I was going to lie about who I was trying to get, then I would say, yeah, we wanted Ursery from the jump. But if you really think about it and you watch the actual actions that happened and what we talked about in depth, Cacerio was pissed off that night. He was pissed off that night. Mm-hmm. And not only was Cacerio pissed off that night, he was really, really in depth. Like, he said that someone pounded the table for Jalen
Smith.
Jalen Smith. He said that. Like, he brought that up unsolicited. He said someone pounded the table for Jalen Smith. He said we tried to go make deals, and he was a little bit uneasy. What was he mad about? Because if you're going to be that open and you're going to be that honest, I feel like you might just come out and say, yeah, we wanted Ursery. We tried to get him early, blah, blah, blah. He never said that. So I just wonder if maybe I don't know. There's a number of possibilities, but what would you have been upset about? Because to me, Cody, let's say that I have $150, and let's say I want to pay $150 for something, but it ends up getting sold out, and then an hour later they restock, and the price is lower than $150. In other words, then it costs $120. So instead of paying $150 for what I wanted to pay for, I get to pay $120, and then I have an extra $30 to get something that's kind of a luxury on top of that. And I have, or 20, let's say 20, and I have 20 to get that's a luxury on top of that. And then I have an extra $10 to spend tomorrow when I come back to the market, and I can get something that I really need. I would be happy. I wouldn't be pissed. So that's the confusion that I have is he essentially offered the pick that ended up being Knoll on top of Ursary. He ended up offering, we saw the video. He ended up offering the 3rd round pick that you traded up for to get Woody Marks, who they say they like. And yet he was pissed off. What was he pissed off about? That doesn't make a lot of sense unless it's just an ego thing where he could be one of those guys who, man, I almost screwed up and now I'm mad about that. But it doesn't make sense. And this is based on stuff we talked about in the moment.
Yeah, I wonder if his unhappiness was centered around how the 3rd round ended and them maybe using a lot of their worthwhile trade-up ammunition and not being able to get maybe, something else that they liked in the 3rd round, and then having to spend, basically a 5th rounder to move 5 spots for a guy that, frankly, it was a pretty weird 3rd round selection in Jalen Smith. So I wonder if the anger was about that.
That was the beat the table for type of thing. That was what he was mad about.
I just wonder if he just didn't love having to make a move up for 5 spots just to make somebody happy, maybe.
Okay.
That's what I speculate the being upset is about.
And that's a good point right there. That would be
because
that's very, very, very well thought out.
If they're trying to get to 38, they say, New England says, actually see you later. No, thanks. And they're like, well, crap. Now, because my thought process trying to put myself in their shoes is they probably thought Ursary was going 39. They thought he was going to Chicago because Chicago ultimately drafted a tackle.
Yeah.
And so they probably thought he was going 39. So when New England bails on him, they're like, well, crap, there goes Ursary. We really wanted him. And then he's not going 39. He starts to slip a little bit. I don't know, were they calling 40 through 47? Did they try to move up? Did they decide? Did someone say, what were you going to give up? No, that was too much. Like, oh, let's just trust them. I don't know. I don't know why they waited till 48 to then go up and get Ursary.
Yeah.
But it does not feel like Ursary feels like another one of those. Yep, they fell in love with him, felt like they had to have him type of guys.
Okay.
Like this was Will 2 years ago. It felt like it was Kamari last year. But
just to bring it back, it also shows that Cacerio doesn't have a good grasp. Like whenever the nerdy ass dudes who we deal with, that's not an insult. Like that's our friends. That's what we like. That's our area. That's our lane. But whenever the nerdy ass dudes say he doesn't understand value and he trades up for guys you don't have to trade up for, this is tangible proof of it.
It would have been yet another super leaky trade where he leaks out the value of the trade.
Yeah, and then you end up taking a guy that would, not hypothetically, not theoretically, he was there from where you were trading up. And oh, by the way, you ended up getting a guy who's probably one of my favorite picks that they made in Jalen Knoll, who I think is going to end up being a baller, which is great. Sometimes that luck works, but it's tangible proof of that. So
yeah,
there we go.
Look, it's probably not happened as much in my life as it has happened in Nick Caserio's time as a general manager, but sometimes the move you can't make ultimately ends up being much better than what you thought it was going to be. Cause like 100%. he's had some hopes that if they'd paid off would have been significantly worse than what ultimately he turned it into.
Yep.
I mean, I think about Eric Armstead's probably one of the biggest free agent
For one.
examples.
I mean, who knows how much that changes if you pay that money? I don't know. I don't think Daniil Hunter's getting an extension. I don't know. Like, who knows what happens?
You're not getting Daniil Hunter probably if you get Eric Armstead.
Yeah, that was one of them. So, yeah, the Armstead falling apart was a blessing in disguise, no doubt. All right.
It is really funny how often it seems like his plan A kind of is way worse than his plan B. His plan B ends up being great a lot of times,
which is part of the game, man. Like I'm not knocking it. I'm just like, we just remember, because I was talking about how he needed some sleep. Like, this isn't like that. My whole thing was that Nick needs sleep. He needs to. He's up past his bedtime. He's way pissy. Like, what's going on? And he's talking about the trades, and now this comes back. And I even said something to Texans PR. I was like, "Hey, what time does Nick go to bed?" They're like, "Oh, I see what you're getting at." And I was like, well, "I'm just asking. Like, is he grumpy? Like, I would get it, but yeah, that's just kind of what I had." So it is Memorial Day. Shout out to everyone here on SNL. Landry Locker, Cody Stutes with you. What are the most underrated Memorial Day items? And I got one on my feet right here. I got a little Spirit too. Little HEB impulse buy. Not really a Croc guy.
But are those real Crocs?
No,
or those frocks?
HEBs. Guess how much these cost at HEB impulse?
Oh, got you some frocks. $5?
$10, baby.
$10. That's a great investment for $10.
$10 impulse buy, baby.
That's a great investment. Easy to slip on footwear for Memorial Day.
$10 camo. What did you call them? Frocks?
Frocks, fake Crocs.
Okay. Most underrated Memorial Day items. Did you eat anything today? Hold on. Did you eat anything Memorial Day Spirit today? That was a dumb question. My fault. It's 4:20.
Yeah, did I eat anything? Did the sun come up? I have plans for either a hot dog or a hamburger for dinner. So
okay, but
I haven't had any Memorial Day festivities or feasty items ahead of time.
I've had 2 dogs, a burger, some nachos, some dip, some beans. I think that's it.
You know what I've seen, like,
a few beers.
And you watch a lot of Food Network now too, and I've just like seen from the food, like corn dip is like hotter than it's ever been. I see corn dip a lot of different places now. Like a elote dip or a corn dip or this or that or corn salsa. I keep seeing that pop up.
Corn salsa is too much, man. I think people, you know what? I think people half-ass way too much more than they should. I think it's like a disgrace. Onion dip. Like, if you're gonna get the hell of a good dip, you're good. But like, I feel like people just half-ass the dips. Like, that you don't see like much half-assing on queso. Like, it feels like there's like a little bit of like minimal effort on the queso. Like, even if you just throw it in a crock pot and you throw some stuff in it. But it does feel like the onion dip is just very, 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 very underappreciated and it's not attended to as much as it probably should.
Onion dip just feels like one of those things that you should probably just buy at the store. Like you want to tell me your homemade salsa is better than this or your homemade guacamole is better than that. Sure. Just buy onion dip at the store.
Cebu says he had a half and half margarita. It was legit. You have to go half and half. Yeah, no doubt. Shout out
there was somebody when you were not first brought it up, but when you brought it up, we had the big discussion about the half and half margarita like 3 or 4 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. Somebody said they were trying it that night, and I was going back through some of the old comments, and they said, "Yep, it's the way to go." So like we continue to confirm for the people that that's the way to go.
It's not negotiable. You go half on the rocks, half frozen. The frozen is now your ice. The rocks is there. It's stronger and it's colder. It's just a common sense type of thing. Some people say things are common sense. It's like, well, that's kind of debatable. Like, we can go through that, but like, it's just half and half is the only way to do it. But onion dip, I think hell of a good sour cream dip is the must. Even if you put it in the queso.
They just announced a new dip partnership. They've got like, I think, a spicy Mike's Hot Honey dip coming out.
Man, I'll be honest, the hot honey movement that they've had lately, it's whack.
Hot honey's having a moment, man. It's
so
everywhere.
Terrible. It's so terrible. Like they have
everywhere.
Dude, I understand that like bacon had its go and like what else had its go? There's bacon, there's pickles, like they all had their go. What is Chipotle doing with hot honey? Like the other day I went to Chipotle and it was like they were backed up, and I always feel bad for the kitchen when they're backed up. It was like I went like after the lunch rush. It was probably like 1:40, and there's like 3 workers there, and you can tell they're just worn the F out. Like they've been doing it all. So they're out of chicken, they're out of steak. The only thing that's full is the honey crap, and it's like no kidding. Who the hell wants honey on their chicken at Chipotle? Like the hot honey. No, thank you. It's an absolute disgrace that this thing is getting this much of a moment, but they're getting it, and it's embarrassing. And now HEB's partaking. I understand the hatch season and all that. Hot honey, come on, get out of here with that.
Hot honey's having, it's having a year plus. Like it's hot honey's crushing it right now.
Jacory says boudin off the grill is underrated. I don't like boudin, man. I used to be a big boudin like. My boys would always like make it. It's not. I just give me a nice solid sausage link or something like that. The boudin just breaks apart too easy. It's not necessarily. It's not good when it's accompanied by sauces as much. It's not as good. Not as big of a boudin fan.
Yeah, it's better if you're picking it up from somewhere in Louisiana and bringing it back. Like it just doesn't hit as well if you're buying it just at the store or something like that. The more homemade, the better. And I like it as a dip and a cracker more so than in sausage form.
Yeah, I will say, he said, engineer says the hot honey at Chipotle is pretty good, to be honest. That's if you get a good batch. No, it's not. It's covered up. I can promise you're not getting the hot honey like by itself. And he says disgrace. No, it's a disgrace. Yeah, you covered it up with the sour cream, the salsa, the cheese, the lettuce, and it just tasted like chicken with like a pinch of something. It's terrible. Like it's a disgrace that Chipotle is doing this.
I do like a little drizzle of hot honey every now and then on a slice of pizza.
Yeah, that's a completely different thing. But yeah, the honey pepperoni or whatever they got. There's been some good
I tell you this though, I know hot honey's having like its moment.
It's terrible.
I trust hell of a good dip to make a good hot honey dip though. Like I trust them.
Yeah, they're just on their thing. Are they? Wait, they're doing the hot honey?
Yeah, that's what I tried to tell you a second ago.
Oh, I thought you were saying HEB was.
No.
God, how deep are you in the hell of a good research? Good Lord.
Well, I follow them on Instagram.
It's the best dip in the world.
They tell me all these new great. I've been emailing them once a month to try to get them to send the bacon horseradish dip to Houston.
Man, yeah. Hell of a good's gonna try it. Oh well, I take back everything I just said. Just kidding.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering why you were railing on it so much, because I was like, those are your guys. Look at this, Mike's hot honey dip.
I'm still going with the regular, but it's not as bad as I thought.
Yeah. I mean, look,
doing it
again, once a month. I'm like, please put bacon horseradish in a store down here. I'll buy it.
Going back to the bounce back, Cebu brought up Kaimi Fairbairn, your nemesis, the guy you hate the most.
He's not my nemesis.
He says him bouncing back would be nice too. Thoughts?
He had one of his lowest field goal percentages of his career last year. Now he missed some really long ones, but he also missed some shorter ones, and he missed a pretty important extra point that ripped a lot of momentum away from the team. So yeah, it'd be nice if Kaimi got a little bit more automatic.
Patrick has a hot take going back to Chipotle. He says that it's enough of a flavor replacement to not have to spend extra on guac, which is a hell of a theory here. So, and did you ever read the Zach Greinke quote about guacamole at Chipotle?
Mm-mm.
Type in on your search thing, because you already have it up. Greinke Chipotle guac. So there's 2 parts to this quote. But yeah, the $2 for the guac at Chipotle that's kind of crazy. Isn't it like it's a little bit insane?
It is. I mean, they're pretty proud of it.
All right, so here's the Greinke quote. Stutz is bringing it up. I like guacamole. I don't really love it. They changed their guacamole from 150 to 180. I mean, 150 is pretty high. This is a guy who made $250 million playing baseball, by the way.
Yeah.
So they changed it to 180, and I'll never get guac. It's not about the guac itself. I just didn't want them to win. Sign Zach Greinke. Now, this is why this is a Greinke quote. There's two reasons. Number one, he made $250 million playing baseball. Number two, he owned Chipotle franchises.
Wait, really?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
He was an investor.
So is that something like the company forces you to charge more? Because couldn't he have just said, don't increase the price?
No, I don't think you can change prices at Chipotle, I would assume.
Yeah, this feels like they might be very restrictive as a franchise.
Yeah, like McDonald's, I don't think you can just come out and say, all right, McChickens are 50 cents here.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah. No, you're right about that.
Yeah. So shout out to Zach Greinke. The guac is just, it's a little too much. And then some people are putting guac in queso and they have like $20 burritos.
They're queso. You were talking about disgrace. The biggest disgrace in
worst
service food.
Worst
fast food, counter service, restaurants. The biggest disgrace in the world is what Chipotle calls queso.
So bad.
It's awful.
So bad. So bad.
It's awful.
Like the cheap ass, and I actually like the cheap ass just stadium nacho cheese, but it dunks on their queso. It is so bad. It is so
every high school football game this fall is going to have better queso.
I've never had worse queso than Chipotle's. I've honestly never had worse queso.
Yeah, it's bad.
Ever. It's pathetic.
It's bad.
Is there any more pathetic displays than that? Like the hot honey chicken, we'll just put to the side. At least they're not charging extra for that. Is there any more pathetic displays from restaurants / fast food places?
These
Taco Bell nuggets are up there. But I think with kids, it's okay. I think with kids, if you have a 5-year-old, maybe that'll work. But
I food reviewed the nuggets on my most recent video.
Oh my God. Terrible. The sauce is okay though.
Their new sauce is great.
The sauce could hit somewhere else with
and their jalapeno honey mustard might be one of the best honey mustards in the game.
I tried the McDonald's tenders. They got me after the 8th commercial. I checked those out. Those aren't bad. It's just not nuggets. It's not nuggets, but it's not terrible. They could do worse.
I did not like them.
Well, the problem now, whenever you step up to that playing field, you're literally like, if you're gonna hype up your tenders and you're gonna hype up your chicken, you're stepping up in Kane's face at this point. You're literally like if you're just gonna try to hold your hat on your tenders, you're stepping into Kane's face. And some people will be like hipsters and say they don't like Cane's, but I think I like them, and that's just kind of where you're sticking your chest out if you're trying to get in that.
Well, there's just so many places that do chicken at such a high level.
Yes,
and they do chicken nugget. I mean, the McDonald's chicken nugget is so unique and different compared to every other fast food chicken nugget. But it's just, I was not a fan of I liked the new dipping sauce that they had with the tenders, but I was not a big fan of the tenders. And I will say this is a great little bonus. The drive-through, when the guy got ready to hand me my food, he goes, "Do you want any sauce?" I go, "Oh, I just told the lady at the front, did you already put that in there?" He goes, "Yeah, but I was going to see if you wanted some more sauce." And I was
wow, he's going to jail.
I was like, for free? What,
brother? That dude's in prison, brother. He's with Diddy. If you're at McDonald's and you try to give away extra sauce, he is Diddy's cellmate right now. They as soon as you took off, when they tried to give you extra sauce at McDonald's, excuse me, sir, they got raided. He is in prison.
They
do not allow you to get extra sauce at McDonald's, brother. He is in prison with Diddy.
They got Grimace dressed up like a police officer, ready there to hit him with a nightstick. Oh, you gave away. Oh, you gave away free sauces. Get out of here. You're fired. Oh man.
Wait, what did you try to do there?
He already got his 2 sauces and paid his 19 cents for his third sauce.
He had a 20-piece nugget. He had 2 sauces in a plastic bag, like they're hiding them from you. They go through extra effort for it. But Taco Bell, God, man, they're filling up the whole damn bag with like fire, all that. The Chick-fil-A, have you seen Chick-fil-A has dog biscuits now, man? Like Chick-fil-A has like dog bones. Yeah, Chick-fil-A has like,
how do they taste?
Dog bones. They got all the sauce. They got everything for you, like laid out. They've tried to be stingy, but they can't do it. They can't really do it. They'll give you what you want. They'll ask you how much.
What I do like about Chick-fil-A is if you do a mobile order and they let you select your sauces on the mobile order, they give you exactly what you select.
Yeah.
So like if you don't ask for anything, whatever you put in on the mobile order, that's what you're getting. That's what they're bringing to the table.
Yeah.
Or that's what they're putting in the bag.
Well, McDonald's, you're getting fed it out.
McDonald's, you're getting looked at like it's like crazy. I asked for extra sauce. I didn't ask for a bank loan.
Crazy, dude. Just crazy. Just absolute craziness. All right. So continuing here on Memorial Day. We got a race card for you though from Wow This Guy LOL. We gotta hit this. Cody looks as white as a white person can look.
I look. Why is it the American flag shirt?
Is it the American pride? What are we talking about here? What are you talking about here?
I don't know. I mean, do I look that white?
You got the comb over, all that. You do look kind of Caucasian. You probably like a 10.
Okay, comb over is what you do when you don't have any hair. I've got the hair.
Who will be the he's way better guy for the Texans in 2025?
I actually feel like there's only 2 possible answers here.
You're going to say Juice Scruggs. Go ahead. That's one.
No.
Oh. You're going to say
there's only and what you're really asking is like Dalton when you Schultz. Watch him in 2020. What's that?
Dalton Schultz.
No. What you're really asking is maybe. But I don't think you're going to be like, oh, he's way better. I think you're just going to be like, he's fine now. I think there's only 2 answers to this question.
Okay.
I think the wrong answer, but I could see where it could be the right answer, is Kalen Bullock. You're in the system, a little bit of NFL weight training, maybe gets him a little bit stronger, and going through here in the offseason and in training camp, you're going to have CJ Gardner-Johnson to help him along. You've still got Jimmy Ward to help him along. And I just feel like there's a chance you're going to watch him in 2025, be like, ooh, he's way better than he was in 2024. But I think he's the runner-up to the ultimate answer to this question.
Okay.
It's got to be Kamari Lassiter, right?
Yeah, I think Lassiter is a given. I just feel like it's a given that he's going to only get better. Maybe I'm getting a little too confident with it. He's definitely going to get tested. Like, you're definitely getting tested when you're opposite Stingley. But I just feel like I
thought you meant steroid tested because he got swole in the offseason.
Hey, he's definitely peeing in a cup. he's definitely peeing in a cup a few times this year with how jacked he's gotten. That's for damn sure. But I'm saying like quarterback testing him. So you're always going to get your opportunities to make plays and be shown. So yeah, I would agree with you. I think Lassiter is a given that he's better. Way better. Dalton Schultz is going to be better. I don't know if he's going to be way better. He might be less on the field. Like that might be part of Dalton Schultz being better, is having him less on the field. Which I think I do think that if the Texans would have just gone back, and I don't have it off the top of my head, like what the percentage of snap count that Dalton Schultz played. But I think if they could have cut that based on what he was asked to do and what he did last year and how he performed, I think, do you have the snap count? I don't want to put you on the spot.
Are you just saying if they just taken Dalton Schultz's snaps and given them to somebody else?
I mean, I don't want to say this and then it be like way less, but like what percentage of snaps do you think he was on the field on offense?
I mean, he had to be on like
70
at least, right?
80, like
he had his season average offensive snap counts was 78.1.
Okay, if I feel like if they lowered that to 58, that they would have been a better football team. That's how bad he was, and that's how bad his role was. I think it's really that simple. Like, he can be better, but I think if you told me that I could go back last year and I can make one change that can't be massive or significant, I think putting Dalton Schultz, even if that meant putting Irv Smith, even if that meant putting anyone else or figuring it out, if you
Andrew Beck,
whoever, like if you would have put anyone on the field that you had available to you on the field for an extra 20% of Dalton Schultz's snaps, I think that you would have been a better team. Seriously.
Do they win one more football game if that happens, if he plays 58% versus 78%?
I don't know. I don't know if I can like point to a specific game. The way that he performed and the way that he was used. And I want to emphasize that the way that he was used is part of that too.
Sure.
But I honestly think if you eliminated 20%, he's better.
I don't disagree with you. You know who would have one of the biggest impacts if he was the answer to this question?
What?
Blake Fisher. If you knew that Blake Fisher was going to come into this season and just be way better than he was last year, that would give you certainly a little bit higher floor as to what you think this offensive line can be.
Yeah, but no one's betting on that, right?
Well, that's the thing. And the book on Fisher getting drafted was, well, he's a project. He needs a year, and then he should be a much better player after he's gotten in the NFL, understood what an NFL team needs out of him, and then gets a year in an NFL weight room. And so if that is the case, and that allows him to be like a much better player just because he's got the physicality of the NFL, he's more aware of it, and he's got a year of NFL weight training, maybe, but I don't have super high hopes for it. They've gone out there and they've added a bunch of different tackles to this team.
Yeah, I don't know what Blake Fisher's going to be. We'll see. We'll see what he looks like and how that whole thing goes. That could go a number of ways. We don't even know what we're looking at. I was at the grocery store the other day, and one of our viewers / listeners walked up, and he was talking about the offensive line, and he brought up Blake Fisher, and he was just like, I don't know about that guy.
I don't think anybody knows about him.
I don't know about that guy. Really what he had to say. So yeah. We'll see how
they went and added potentially Ursery that could play instead of him. I guess there's a chance Trent Brown could play instead of him, but I don't even know if Trent Brown can walk right now. So
what did Trent Brown eat today?
I don't know. Do you know he's listed as 380 on the roster?
Yeah, that's about right. Is he even playing? Is he playing? Are you positive he's a tackle?
Trent Brown?
Yeah.
Well, what would he play if he didn't play tackle?
Guard.
He never played guard.
I mean, he's way too big, dude. Like, have you seen the picture of him with the Bengals? Type in Trent Brown Bengals. It's the only picture that'll come up. Like, does this guy look like a freaking tackle? I know weight fluctuates. Just type in Trent Brown Bengals.
Okay, I'm typing it in here. I'm trying to get the picture up here.
Not the Patriots, the Trent Brown Bengals.
I know. Trying to get the picture here. All right. He didn't look that big.
Okay.
He doesn't look that big.
Top right. That's him in camp. Look at that. Yeah, click that. Oh, that's a tackle?
Yeah, he's only ever played tackle.
Okay.
That was
looks
him
like
getting.
That's going to be a slow first step back. Look at him getting carted off. Click that.
And he's coming off of a patellar tendon injury too.
Now look at him in New England versus Cincinnati. Look at that. Everybody's looking at this. Look there and then look up. Tell me that looks like the same. No, it's not. Look how skinny he is.
He looks a little bit more like he looks a little bit more fit here in New England.
Now click Cincy.
There's a little
it's a little different.
There's some gut.
Yeah, I don't know about this.
Again, Trent Brown coming off a torn patellar tendon. I have no idea if he's even going to make the team.
He's not factoring into my even like line of thought until
he's not either for me, because I can't sit here and tell you 20-something-year-old Josh Simmons is undraftable by the Texans, and then Trent Brown, who's played however long he's played in the NFL and weighs 70 pounds more, it has the same injury. I can't sit here and tell you I could have any belief in Trent Brown. So
yeah,
Austin Deculus, get ready. You're the fourth tackle.
Crazy, dude. Like if we don't have a recent picture, like we went from New England to Cincinnati, like what does that look like now? Like that, like just go up, go from New England to Cincinnati and then go up to the right. Like what does that look like after an injury?
After a significant knee injury where guys typically don't bounce back from it.
Yeah, I don't see that at all.
Yeah.
That's a tough one for me. I mean, maybe it's just bring him in, see what's up, kick the tires. They know him. They've been through the ups and downs with him, quite frankly. Like, if you look at Kaylee and Popovich, I want to say Popovich was there with Kaylee when Brown got paid, when he got broke off. So,
like when he left for Oakland?
Yeah,
they were. Yeah, he was.
Yeah, so they saw him go from disappointing to developing into getting paid, and then they brought him back and saw him kind of revive. So they probably have a soft spot for him and give him like some sort of chance. I don't think there's like a massive investment in it, but I'm not counting on that.
I just couldn't believe that the Texans official roster on the website listed him as 380 pounds. I was like,
what do you think? That's low?
I thought they'd lie and say he's like 350. Like when guys have big numbers, they usually bring it down.
350 right there on that cart.
When guys have big numbers, they usually bring it down.
Okay. 350?
Again, I don't believe he's 350. I'm just saying I thought they would lie for him.
Dude, he could fast for a month in that Bengals picture, and he's not 350.
Do you believe Tank Dell's 165? That seems about right.
No.
You think he's lighter?
Yes. I think he's like 150 something.
I don't believe
it's easy to tell when you're around 6 foot and that. Like that you can tell up to 200. Yes, I don't.
Do you believe Kamari's 180? Not anymore.
He's probably like 190, 195.
Like 210
but he'll be 180 by the time they play.
Yeah.
Moving around so much. Like, what do they list Nico at? They list him at what? 2.
This is with Carnival. We're guess your weight.
Yeah, it's welcome to the Memorial Day SNL Carnival here.
All right, let's see what do they list Nico? They list Nico at 222.
No, he's not. He's less.
Yeah, I don't believe that.
No, he's not. It's not 222. It's a solid. It's a solid 210, 215, 222. He might be now, but when like in season, no, he's not.
Will Anderson 243. No way.
You think he's bigger?
Yeah, absolutely.
I remember when I stood next to Will Anderson, everyone's like, dude, how big is Landry? I was like, a little heavier, taller. Big dude. But
Keontae Hamilton, 304. Not buying it.
You think he's more?
Oh, yeah.
Nah, I bet he's like 315.
I'm not buying 304.
What do they list Titus at?
$322.
They was heavier last year.
Yeah, I would say yeah. Man. So Cam Robinson, 335. Ariante Ursary, 330. Laken Tomlinson, 323. They've added some beef to this offensive line. I mean, we've talked about it before, but they got much larger individuals than last year.
Yeah. Yeah, they're massive. Ursary's huge.
He looks like a mountain.
Yeah, he's a solid.
He carries 330 about as good as somebody can carry 330 too.
Yeah, look, dude. Someone said I called Will Anderson little. I'm not calling him little, but like, look, like that's like that was last year. I was a little heavier, but like that.
How tall is Will Anderson? Is he taller than I think he is?
He's in cleats. He's on cleats, so he's like 6'4", but he's on cleats. Yeah, I'm just frowning down on him. But yeah,
6'4".
Yeah, he's got the spikes on. So yeah. Anyway, that's the carnival portion.
Yeah. Step right up here. We'll guess your weight. If you're lighter than Trent Brown, you win a prize.
Gio acted like I was like being like some sort of weirdo. I'm like, no, I mean, I stood next to him. It was a little bit. I mean, he would murder me. I'm not saying anything like that. But he bounces. He does like put on like weight. Like I think Will can go from like 235 to 250 relatively easy. He'll talk day 2 of training camp, day 1 of training camp probably. Got to make sure McLean's there to ask him how much he weighs. I talked to McLean today. He said that he's going to be there this week. So we'll see. Yeah, he likes to. He's obsessed with Will Anderson's weight.
McLean, Weight Watcher.
I want to see this Trent Brown situation. Is he?
I don't even know if Trent Brown's going to be on the field this week. Like, I don't know if he's healthy.
He'll be on the side.
I have no idea.
He'll at least be on the side. Maybe he's like an extra coach.
I have wondered if just because, like, you have Trent Brown because he's familiar with Cole Popovich. He's one of the guys that you could say, okay, like he was around when New England was kind of piecing the offensive line together with not massive investments. Is he a guy that can kind of instill some things? They write him a nice little check for showing up. Hey, here's your money. Sorry you didn't make the team. Your knee exploded last year. And he's also, again, he's an extremely large human being that's played tackle at different times at a very high level in the NFL. It's like, hey, Ariante Ursary. He's a huge human too. Learn how to play tackle from him.
I mean, they've brought in a few guys that are just kind of like, okay, we'll see where this goes. It feels like a AEW Royal Rumble.
Wait, what?
Like a bunch of mid wrestlers having a battle royal. Like it doesn't feel like a WWE Royal Rumble. It feels like an AEW battle royal on the offensive line. Maybe you can find like a couple of guys. There's obviously some guys that you recognize from being good back in the day. Oh, there's Edge and Billy Gunn. Wow, if only they could be what they used to be. And then you have like some young guys that aren't really that good. Like it's like an AEW battle royal with the offensive line.
That's a pretty funny way to put that.
That's what it feels like. Like it's like competition. Let's have a drinking game with the people. Every time that they mention the offensive line, during up to the season. Actually, we'll do this. This is what we're going to do. Okay? And we're going to set this up before. And we can't trick them. But we're going to keep a tally. And every time only a coach, so it can be It can be D'Amico. It can be Kaylee. And we'll count Cacerio too. Anytime they mention the word competition, when it comes to the offensive line up till the start of the season, competition, just the offensive line. That's 5 beers on me and Cody at an outing before the season.
It's like the first 5 people to come up, get a beer.
5 beers. So if they mention it 20 times, we have to buy 100 beers.
Okay. There we go.
Competition.
We're gonna have some fun stuff with our friends over at Carbach before the season gets started. So
yes, competition is the word. Keep a tally. 5 beers every time. Should we make it 3? Is it going to be crazy?
I was afraid somebody's gonna get the word on this and just blow up our spot.
So should it be 3 beers?
Yeah, let's do 3 beers. Yeah, because we're letting 3 people do it. So 3.
Yeah,
so
3, if we do 3 beers and they say it 20 times, then that's 60, and that's basically 10 buckets.
Yeah,
that's fair. All right, we'll go 3.
Well, we might be in some trouble here. We might be in some trouble here.
Patrick said Landry's trying to give everyone alcohol poisoning, get some charcoal. Y'all going broke.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, competition, huh? There'll be a few competitions this week. Yep.
It's just a weird sales pitch. It really is kind of a weird sales pitch because that's not necessarily good.
Yeah, competition and coaching greater than talent.
Yeah, like competition means that you don't have it.
Competition and coaching greater than talent. That's what the
we
Texans
want.
are betting on.
That's what we want. Well, Mike, I got to ask the question if they say this. Like, y'all didn't really have much competition last year on the offensive line. Was this something that y'all got together and said that y'all needed? Because last year, it kind of felt like these starting positions were set in stone. So when did this competition start becoming something that was treasured here? And then they'll lie to you and say, well, we've always thought that. Anytime you step on the football field, anybody who puts on a uniform, a Texans uniform, is competing for their job. Like that's anybody. That's from the third stringer to the practice squad. Blah blah blah. They'll lie.
Yeah, you pegged that.
Yeah,
yeah, you're spot on with that.
They'll just be like, okay. Well, why was Kenny Green a starter? Who knows?
Well, didn't really feel like they had very many options behind him that were worth a damn.
Jaden on the chat, appreciate you, mi amigo. HDAV Travers says SNL get together on Labor Day weekend. LOL.
Right before the season, probably. I don't know, Labor Day weekend. Around there. Yeah, in the vicinity of Labor Day weekend.
Yeah, around that.
We'll do some stuff.
Yeah, we'll get it going.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. What else you got going on today? You said you're trying to get a hot dog or a hamburger or something?
Yeah, I'm gonna do either smash burgers or I'll do hot dogs.
What do you mean? You're gonna try to make a smash burger?
Well, I have a griddle in the backyard over here.
Oh, so you're gonna make one? You know what you're doing?
Yeah.
Okay. You've done this before?
Is there something that I feel, does it look like I'm incapable of doing? Like, is there a trick I don't know?
No, I just thought smash burgers, there's like an art to it. I don't know.
You make it a 4-ounce ball. You set it on the griddle. You let the bottom get just a little, and then you smash it down and then scrape it up when it gets nice and crusty. Flip it over, throw your cheese on, bing, bang, boom.
Okay. There you
what
go.
am I missing?
I don't know. I wouldn't know. I just didn't know if that was something that you were just feeling yourself on and just decided to try to do it, or if you had experience in it.
I mean, I'm not Bobby Flay. I'm not taking this to beat Bobby Flay and be like, I challenge Bobby Flay to smash burgers. Like, I'm not doing that.
I knew that.
I'm just going to give it a whirl.
The Rhino with the hot take, Stutzberger over Trillburger.
I don't know about all that. I feel confident I could cook it and have it be cooked, I'm not going to promise it's going to taste great.
Yeah. Anyway, appreciate everyone for coming through. Subscribe, like, right along. Always remember, when it comes to this Texan stuff, we're all in it together. For Cody Stutes, I'm Landry Locker. Also, special guest host, Refrigerator Perry, over Cody's right shoulder.
Eat good, sleep good, be good. We'll talk Texans again soon. Thanks for watching, everybody. And thank you to everybody who served on this Memorial Day. And what's the phrase that I always like? All gave some, but some gave all.
Isn't that a Billy Ray Cyrus song?
Maybe.